Forget smooth highways and scenic drives. Some roads aren't built, they're battled, carved through unforgiving landscapes where every inch is a fight against gravity, weather, and fear. These aren't just paths, they're gauntlets. Do you dare to see the world's most extreme journeys, where survival is the only destination? Buckle up, this is a ride unlike any other. Number 11, Pan American Highway, Costa Rica. Every twist and turn could be your last. The road is a battleground where nature and humanity collide in a brutal struggle for survival. This is a perilous journey through the wild heart of two continents, a true test of guts and grit that few dare to complete. Buckle up, because the Pan American Highway is no ordinary road trip. Stretching nearly 30,000 kilometers from the frozen tundras of Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, to the icy windswept tip of Tierra del Fuego in Argentina, this is the longest road on Earth and one of the most dangerous. This sprawling network snakes through 14 countries, cutting across Canada, the United States, Mexico, and the volatile lands of Central America before plunging into the unpredictable jungles and mountains of South America. But don't be fooled by the map, because no official Pan American Highway signs greet travelers in the US or Canada. Instead, this route is a patchwork of treacherous roads, each presenting its own deadly challenges. The infamous Darien Gap, a 60-mile stretch of impenetrable swampland and rainforest on the Panama-Colombia border. This is the ultimate barrier. Driving from Alaska to the southern edge of South America, you will encounter an insurmountable obstacle. Here, the road disappears into deadly swamps and impenetrable jungles, just nature's brutal fortress. It is a perilous plunge into wild, unforgiving terrain where few survive. Travelers face a ferry ride into a lawless no-man's land, crawling with guerrillas, hostile tribes, venomous creatures, and the ever-present threat of violent criminals lurking in the shadows. The Pan American Highway is a relentless adversary. Scorching heat waves bake the deserts, while sudden landslides can bury entire stretches of road without warning. Steep cliffs drop away into abyssal darkness. Livestock wander unpredictably onto narrow mountain passes, and torrential rains can transform roads into muddy death traps. During the wet season, entire sections become impassable, forcing desperate detours through hostile terrain. Winter at the extremes of the route offers no refuge, either because blizzards and ice storms can trap travelers in frozen wastelands where help is a distant dream. The journey demands at least a year and a half of endurance, patience, and nerve. From dense, suffocating jungles teeming with venomous snakes and jaguars to arid deserts where dehydration is a constant threat, the highway tests every ounce of survival skill. Only the boldest, most prepared adventurers will conquer the Pan American Highway, the mother of all road trips, where every mile is a gamble with fate. Number 10. Sichuan-Tibet Highway, China. Imagine a road carved into the jagged spine of the world, where every mile is a battle against nature's fury. This is no ordinary route, but it is a gauntlet for the brave and the foolhardy alike. Welcome to the Sichuan-Tibet Highway, a road where the Earth's beauty and brutality collide in a deadly dance, and only the most daring survive. The Sichuan-Tibet Highway, stretching a daunting 2,142 kilometers from the bustling city of Chengdu to the mystical heights of Lhasa. This treacherous path, once known as the Kangding-Tibet Highway, winds through towering peaks that pierce the sky at dizzying altitudes between 4,000 and 5,000 meters. Here, the air is thin, the weather merciless, and the landscape a breathtaking yet deadly theater of nature's extremes. Castellated Tibetan homes cling precariously to cliffsides, while yaks graze serenely, which are oblivious to the chaos that can erupt at any moment. Travelers are seduced by the hypnotic beauty of ever-changing seasons, from warm, inviting springs to bone-chilling winters blanketed in snow. Yet this intoxicating scenery masks a brutal truth. Landslides and rock avalanches are constant threats, ready to bury anything in their path without warning. The highway cuts through primeval forests, crosses dozens of wild rivers, and negotiates 14 towering mountain passes. The road surface is notoriously poor-rutted, narrow, and often slick with rain or ice. One wrong move here, especially on the single-line stretches during a storm, can send a vehicle plunging into the abyss below. For truck drivers hauling cargo to the roof of the world, this road is a daily gamble with death. For the uninitiated, it is a nightmare made real, where every turn could be your last, and the mountains watch silently as the reckless and the unlucky fall victim to their unforgiving grip. Number 9. Atlantic Road, Norway. A journey on the razor's edge where every curve could be your last. Tucked away along Norway's rugged Midwestern coast lies the Atlantic Road, which is a wild, unforgiving serpent twisting over the sea, where only the bold survive. A spine-chilling stretch of asphalt that clings precariously to the edge where land surrenders to the savage Norwegian Sea. This is not an ordinary drive. It is a perilous dance with nature's fury. The road twists and dips like a roller coaster, arching over 8 bridges that span 891 meters. Each one is a gauntlet thrown down to the brutal waves that mercilessly crash over the pavement during storms. Starting 30 kilometers southwest of Kristiansund and ending 47 kilometers north of Molde, this 36-kilometer-long highway is a siren's call to thrill seekers and road warriors who dare to challenge the elements. But beware, the weather. Here is a merciless beast. Visibility can vanish in seconds. Icy winds roar past at over 30 miles per hour, and sudden temperature drops can freeze your blood. During storms, the Atlantic Road transforms into a battleground where waves surge over the asphalt, threatening to drag any unwary traveler into the icy depths below. The iconic Storsundit Bridge, with its dizzying curve, looks like a road to nowhere and an optical illusion that hides the deadly drop beneath. Many fear that one wrong move, one gust too strong, could send them plunging into the merciless sea. Yet despite the danger, the road remains open, rain or shine, daring the brave to test their mettle. If the hypnotic beauty of the surroundings steals your focus, it would be wise to pull over at one of the 4 viewpoints, because distraction can be fatal. Number 8. National Highway 22, India. India, a land rich in mesmerizing architecture and vibrant cultures, conceals a darker secret beneath its breathtaking beauty. Among its many treasures lies a road unlike any other, a path where adventure teeters on the edge of death. To journey along this road is to dance with danger, confronting the raw power of nature and the shadows of history. Will you dare to ride the death road and uncover the secrets lurking in the Himalayan mists? This is not just a road, but a perilous legend carved into the mountains that is a testament to the bravery of those who built it and the thrill seekers who still traverse its deadly path. This is the Hindustan-Tibet Highway, also known as NH-22, a route infamous as one of the deadliest roads on the earth. Winding through the jagged peaks of the Shimla Mountains, the Hindustan-Tibet Highway stretches 480 kilometers, from Ambala to the remote outpost of Kaurik. It snakes through the Shivalik Range, brushes past the serene Spiti River, and connects the rugged terrains of Himachal Pradesh with the borders of Tibet. The road's treacherous curves and sheer cliffs have claimed countless lives, earning it the grim title, the Death Road. Constructed in 1850, the highway was envisioned as a lifeline between India and Tibet, linking remote towns and strategic military points. Yet it is not just nature that has claimed victims here. In 1962, during the Indo-China War, the road underwent a desperate reconstruction effort to restore its strategic importance. The cost was horrifying as 122 men perished and their bodies lost to avalanches, landslides, and the merciless mountain cold. Travelers who dare to ride the Hindustan-Tibet Highway face relentless challenges. Only heavily loaded vehicles are permitted, but even they must battle hostile weather, crumbling edges, and sudden rockfalls. Many stretches are closed off, swallowed by the unforgiving environment. One wrong turn, one moment of distraction, and the mountain claims another soul. Number 7. Passage du Gois, France. Twice each day, a sinister road disappears beneath the merciless waves of the Atlantic, not due to storms or erosion, but by the ocean's cruel design. This is the Passage du Gois, a 5.3-kilometer stretch of treacherous asphalt that connects mainland France to the island of Noirmoutier, only to be completely swallowed by the sea as the tide rises. Imagine driving along this eerie causeway, the salty brine creeping up your wheels while the clock relentlessly ticks toward high tide. If your timing falters, and if you misjudge the tide by even a few minutes, you will become a prisoner, stranded in the middle of the ocean. The water can rise up to 4 meters, engulfing the road and your vehicle in a cold, suffocating embrace. This natural passage, formed by ancient currents depositing silt to create a path, has been a deadly trap for centuries. Rescue towers line the road, offering a grim refuge for those caught by the rising sea and waiting helplessly for rescue or for the tide to recede, often losing their cars to the depths. The Passage du Gois is not an ordinary road. It's a watery gauntlet where nature rules with ruthless precision. It has witnessed crashes during the Tour de France and countless tales of desperation. Cross it only when the sea permits, or risk becoming a ghost swallowed by the ocean's relentless hunger. Number 6. Bayburt D915, Turkey. If you value your life, heed the warnings that this road is not for the faint-hearted or inexperienced. It is a gauntlet forged in war, a siren call to danger, and the world's deadliest driving challenge. The D915, also known as the Highway to Hell, is a death-defying stretch of road carved into the jagged cliffs between Turkey's Black Sea and Northeast Anatolia regions. This 100-kilometer nightmare snakes from Bayburt to the coastal town of Ov, featuring 38 razor-sharp hairpin turns that twist and spiral like a serpent ready to strike. Built by Russian soldiers in 1916 amid the chaos of war, this mostly gravel road is a gauntlet where one wrong move means a plunge into the abyss below, where there are no guardrails and only sheer drops that swallow vehicles whole. Drivers ascend from 5,617 to nearly 6,700 feet in just a few miles, navigating narrow lanes so tight that when two vehicles meet face to face, one must backtrack, all while the road crumbles beneath them. Sections such as the infamous Darabasha bends are often cloaked in snow and fog, turning the route into a frozen death trap. Landslides, fallen rocks, and slippery mud lurk around every corner, ready to claim the unwary. Despite the dangers, locals brave this perilous path daily and hauling everything from lorries to motorbikes. However, only the most seasoned drivers dare to challenge its fury. Tourists seeking adrenaline rushes flock here, but the D915 is not a thrill ride, but it is a razor's edge between life and death where weather can transform a treacherous climb into a fatal plunge. History remembers the 1983 tragedy when a bus veered off the cliff killing 100 people, which is a grim reminder that this highway is a hell on earth. Number 5. BR-116, Brazil Highway of Death. This is not just a road, but a corridor of nightmares, where the living fight to survive and the innocent are lost to the darkest corners of human cruelty. To drive BR-116 is to dance with death every mile of the way. Stretching 4,385 kilometers along Brazil's jagged coastline, BR-116 Highway is a sinister artery pulsing with danger, despair, and death. Known as the Rodovia da Morte, or the Highway of Death, this federal road cuts through the heart of Brazil and runs from the northern city of Fortaleza to Jaguarão near the Uruguay border, threading perilously close to cliffs and treacherous. As the second longest highway in Brazil, BR-116 is infamous for much more than its length. The relentless weather, crumbling asphalt, and hair-raising curves combine to make it a nightmare for drivers. Thousands perish here each year, victims of fatal crashes caused by fatigue, poor road conditions, and the ever-present threat of armed bandits lurking in the shadows. Police patrols are scarce, and truckers navigate this highway with nerves of steel, fully aware that one wrong move could be their last. However, the true horror of BR-116 lies not only in its physical dangers. This road is the epicenter of one of the world's most harrowing human tragedies, which is the rampant sexual exploitation of children. Along its stretch, 260 known hotspots mark the grim reality where children are bought and sold for sex, approximately 1 every 10 miles. These victims are often torn from their homes, trafficked hundreds of miles away, and trapped in a nightmare with no escape. Brazil ranks second only to Thailand in the number of children forced into prostitution, with an estimated 500,000 young lives shattered. UNICEF. On BR-116, this nightmare is amplified, which makes it the most active highway in the world for this vile trade. The road's darkness is not just in its curves and cliffs, but in the shadows where innocence is stolen and destroyed. For the truckers who brave BR-116, the journey is a brutal test of endurance. Exhaustion gnaws at their minds, stress tightens its grip, and the constant threat of violence looms. Many turn to alcohol or stimulants just to stay alert, a dangerous gamble on a road where distraction means death. Medical experts warn of the deadly link between fatigue, loss of concentration, and the catastrophic accidents that plague this highway. Well, it demands unwavering focus, unbreakable nerves, and a heart steeled against the horrors lurking both on and off the asphalt. Number 4. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. Safety barriers? Almost non-existent. Instead, the roadside is littered with grim reminders, white crosses, faded photos, and wilting bouquets marking the final resting places of those who dared this perilous descent and never returned. The moment the trophy crested, the jagged 4,800-meter Cumbre Pass, a suffocating mist engulfed us completely. We were plunged into a ghostly cloud, where a shroud that seemed to seal us inside a fragile bubble of eerie calm. An illusion of peace on the infamous Camino de la Muerte, the death road. This treacherous ribbon of asphalt snakes from the frozen heights of La Paz down into the steaming, tangled jungles of the Yungas, extending further into the Amazon basin. In just 64 kilometers, it descends a staggering 3,500 meters. The road narrows to a terrifying 3 meters, in places clinging to cliffs that drop away into yawning chasms. Sharp hairpin bends and blind corners lurk like predators, waiting to claim the unwary. Many waterfalls cascade down slick rock faces, turning the path into a slick, deadly trap. Born from the blood and sweat of Paraguayan prisoners of war after the brutal Chaco War, this highway earned its sinister reputation in the 1990s when death tolls soared. The Inter-American Development Bank dubbed it the world's most dangerous road, a title it wears like a badge of terror. But beyond the death and danger lies a deeper story, one of 2 precious resources that have fueled fascination, conflict, and mystery for centuries: the sacred coca leaf and the glittering lure of gold. On this road, every turn whispers secrets of greed, survival, and the deadly price of desire. Number 3. Guoliang Tunnel Road, China. Deep in the northwest of Henan Province, China, carved into the jagged cliffs of the Taihang Mountains, lies a road whispered about with fear and awe: the Guoliang Tunnel. Born from sheer human grit in the early 1970s, this tunnel is no ordinary passage. It is a gauntlet that punishes even the slightest misstep with deadly consequences. Locals call it the road that does not forgive mistakes, and once you enter, you will understand why. Stretching 1.2 kilometers through unforgiving rock, the tunnel stands just 5 meters tall and 4 meters wide, which is barely enough for a single car to squeeze through. Its walls are pierced by more than 30 eerie windows, jagged openings hacked out by the fearless builders to toss rubble into the abyss below. These gaping holes now cast ghostly light onto the narrow path and reveal the sheer drop-offs that lurk just inches from your wheels. Driving here demands a monk's calm and razor-sharp focus. One slip, one careless moment, and you could plunge into the gaping chasm outside. The tunnel twists and dips unpredictably, hugging the cliff's edge with heart-stopping blind corners that conceal oncoming dangers. It is a one-way death trap, where even the smallest sedan barely fits, leaving mere feet between your car and the deadly void. This is not just a road, but a test of nerve, a corridor carved from the mountain's wrath, where every turn threatens disaster. Many who have dared this path speak of white-knuckled terror, praying for safe passage through the Guoliang tunnel that is the cliffside corridor where the mountain itself seems to watch, waiting for the next soul to falter. Number 2. Luxor-Al-Hurghada Road, Egypt. If you ever find yourself forced to travel this highway, heed this warning: journey only by daylight. Nightfall brings a darkness so complete it swallows everything whole, and the silence is broken only by the roar of engines and the distant threat of violence. Attempting to stop for a stranded vehicle could be a fatal mistake, because bandits use such ruses to ambush the unwary. The stretch of highway from Hurghada to Luxor is a nightmare carved into the Egyptian desert, a deadly gauntlet where every mile could be your last. This 303-kilometer road, connecting the ancient wonders of Luxor to the bustling Red Sea resorts of Hurghada, is infamous for its blood-soaked history of head-on collisions and fatal crashes. Despite recent renovations that have smoothed the tarmac, the road remains a treacherous beast. At night, it transforms into a shadowy death trap where there are no streetlights, and local drivers often switch off their headlights to avoid becoming targets for bandits and extremist militias lurking in the barren terrain. This means you might suddenly find yourself face to face with a speeding vehicle barreling toward you in pitch black with no warning until it's too late to react. The desert winds whip up blinding dust clouds, obscuring visibility and turning the asphalt into a blur. Reckless and unpredictable drivers ignore lanes and traffic rules, weaving dangerously at high speeds and making every moment on this road a gamble with fate. At times, you'll want to crawl just to maintain control. At others, you'll want to race away from looming threats as fast as your vehicle can carry you. Number 1. Cotopaxi, Volcano Road, Ecuador. Nestled precariously at 4,639 meters above sea level, Refugio José Rivas stands as a solitary sentinel on the fiery slopes of Cotopaxi, the world's highest active volcano. Straddling the jagged border between Ecuador's Pichincha and Cotopaxi provinces, this refuge is not merely a destination, but a test of endurance, nerve, and survival. About 50 kilometers south of Quito, the journey begins on a road that defies the faint-hearted. Known locally as Subida Parqueadero Refugio Cotopaxi, this unpaved gravel trail is a battered artery carved into the Andes, relentlessly scarred by rainstorms that gouge deep ruts into its surface. In dry weather, clouds of choking dust rise. With every turn of the wheels and in wet conditions, the mud clings like a living thing, threatening to swallow vehicles whole. This is no ordinary drive. The road climbs steeply in an 8.2-kilometer assault on both vehicle and willpower, gaining 763 meters in elevation with an average gradient of 9.3% and brutal ramps reaching a punishing 14%. At this altitude, the atmosphere is a ghostly whisper of oxygen. Your lungs burn with every breath, and altitude sickness lurks like a silent predator. But it is not only your body that suffers, but the thin air starves your engine of power, sapping acceleration, and climbing ability. Only a well-maintained, high-performance vehicle can hope to claw its way upward without faltering. When the road finally ends at the parking lot, the refuge looms, a fragile outpost against the raw forces of nature. Here, at the roof of the world, the wind howls, and the volcano's simmering fury is never far from sight. Refugio Jose Rivas is a sanctuary for those daring enough to face the mountain's wrath, a place where survival hangs by a thread and every moment is a battle against the elements. The ascent to Refugio Jose Rivas is not just a drive, but a perilous pilgrimage to the edge of existence itself.